So now that we've got the initial part of the campaign set up, which is the objective, the audience, and the format and the placement, we're going to go ahead and look at creating ads. Now, before we jump into creating ads, I'd like you to understand the creation of the form. So when you click on create a new ad, you get to create the ad, but at the bottom you have the option to choose a form. So what this means is basically when you are on normal LinkedIn and you're presented with an ad with a download button, if you click the download button, you're presented with a form which is present on LinkedIn itself. And because this form is present in LinkedIn, it's able to fetch all these demographic data, which it will then send to the advertiser. So you want to be able to do this. You want to have gated content, some case study, some guide or something, which you will then sort of have them download. But in order to download, they'll need to provide their email. So that's what you want to be able to do. So that form is something that you can manually choose and create. So I'd go ahead and show you how to do that. So instead of creating that form here, I would jump on to the process of creating the form under the account assets and lead gen forms. Now, once you're on this screen, you click on create form, and you want to title it according to what your ad is going to be. So in my case, it's Google Analytics FO, and then I'm going to write a nice little headline. So I've already written that here, which is to download the case study of Google Analytics integration. Now, the notion here is that you would make that offer headline specific to what the ad was. And so if you're trialing out multiple ads, just have a generic version of what they're trying to download by filling out this form. Start off with words like download or get or this and that, because that will tell them that at the end of filling out this form, they are going to end up having that resource straight away. Also, make sure that once they click on submit or download, they do have the resource straight away. Don't have them fill out a form and then wait for an email from your CRM 20 minutes later showing up in their email, which again is a bad practice. They might lose their attention, and you not have as good a conversion as you'd expect. So that's the title. Don't have offer details. That's optional. If you put in a big offer detail here, if you put in a big description here, it will just occupy a lot of space at the top of the viewport. Important to have your privacy policy there, but the policy text is optional, so just have your URL in there. Now, with the lead questions, you get to choose. So you've got your first name here and last name selection here, but you can obviously get more data. So I'm going to go ahead and choose, I would like to have their phone number because I would like to make a call later on. I'd also like to get their country if I'm running international campaigns, or probably the state if I'm running local campaigns. So in this case, it's California. Now, what I would also like to get is the name of the company they work for. So obviously the company name. I'd like to get the size of the company too, because I like to know, if it's a big company, if there's an opportunity to sell a larger number of licenses. So you can make all your selections. Interesting thing here also is you can add custom questions. So if you want to ask them questions like, have you ever done one of these courses before, and then you can have your multiple choices here which they can select, which gives you a bit more idea about what the audience expects, or how qualified the audience is. So I'm not going to have any custom questions. You can go ahead and do that. And then with the confirmation screen, you just want to have thank you or a simple message, and click the download button below, just fat fingers button below for your case study, right? And now you want to be able to choose the download button. Now, this landing page URL is going to be your resource URL. Don't send them to a thank you page here. So let's say, for an example, I've got this resource here. This is a PDF. This is sort of, let's say, if this was the PDF I was trying to have them have, then I'd like to go ahead and put that resource URL here, which is exactly what they'll download when they click on that button, which is how this is how it should ideally work. And then once you've done that, you can obviously use some hidden fields for your campaign parameters, UTMs, and tracking, and a lot of other internal tracking purposes. But I'm going to skip this for now and go ahead and click on agree and create. So that's all set up. The Google Analytics Foundation form is all set up. It is in review. It will be shortly reviewed and approved. And so I can start using this in terms of creating the ad. So that's as simple as creating those forms. You can go ahead and duplicate the same form. Once you've set that up, you can duplicate the same form for other courses you create, so you don't need to go through the entire process again. You've made the form generic enough that you can sort of use that again and again, and then all you have to do is change the name and change a bit of wording here and there. So that's all there is to it about form creation. Now we'll jump back into creating those campaigns and add ads, and we'll see how we go from there.